welcome. Welcome, everybody. How are you doing today? My heart goes out to you and to everybody in the whole world who is affected by this crisis. And I really hope that all of you are well. I'm well myself, and I'm still staying at home as much as possible. Even though some states are already reopening or planning to reopen, this COVID-19 change is affecting us all very, very deeply. And I just want to remind you that you may be experiencing all sorts of symptoms that you might not know the origin of right now. And that both individually and collectively, we are much more sensitive right now to issues around health and survival. And that our nervous systems are more prone to experience fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, depression. And that all of these unusual and more visible or usual symptoms are really normal and to be expected right now. And I want to remind us again also that we want to approach everything that arises with kindness, tenderness, kindness. This is always really important for our practice, but especially now. We can't really be here when there's judgment about what is here going on. We also want to keep remembering and realizing that this time, this change, is providing us with a tremendous opportunity for an inner and outer transformation. And that it's providing us with an amazing opportunity for awakening, embodiment, and freedom. I have been speaking about this in our programs, and we have another 3-week program coming up in May. And as always, I will be speaking on a variety of topics in these 3 weeks. And also we'll have lots of time to practice together and to address the issues and concerns that arise for you right now. So some of the topics I will be speaking about in this program are the changing world and how does it affect us right now? How can we grow capacity to live in a world in peace? This is not just for now, meaning it is always for now, right? But it is not just for this time. It is how can we use this time to really grow our capacity to move in a different way in the world as this crisis continues to lessen and change. I will be speaking about what is past, both individually and collectively, about how to break the illusion of separation, about what is needed for you to awaken now, also about the mind and how it creates the illusion of continuation and separation. Also about how uncertainty is such an amazing invitation to awakening and freedom. But I also want to go back to speaking more about the nervous system again, about its capacity to be here, about how to grow the capacity of the nervous system to be here, about how to uncover its resilience, about trauma, and about embodiment of challenging states. I will also speak about, how to find a true peace in relating. So embodiment of challenging states, this is often, an issue, right? Or a challenge. And especially now, challenging states arise: fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, depression. And how can we, be present? And what is the difference between a state that is embodied and disembodied? Well, let's take anger, for example. A disembodied anger would result in a lot of reactivity. And that reactivity, oftentimes, when that reactivity happens for you, even later on, there is an internal, viewing of it or seeing of it like, whoa, what's that? What happened? Why is it like this, right? Embodied anger would actually give you a sense of strength. Embodied anger would grow your capacity to be here. Embodied anger would allow us to engage in action that is connected in presence. So I want to invite us for a little practice right now around these more challenging states like fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, depression. And the first thing we want to remember about anything that arises here, but especially about the states that are more difficult, because there would be habitually more judgment about that. We want to remember that judgment, or interpretation, as I call it, right? Interpretation of what is. That interpretation, that judgment really stops us from being here. So first of all, for practice, we need to realize that interpretation is not something that is going to give you relief. That is not something that is going to give you a solution. So we want to, for a moment, let go of that interpretation or let go of that judgment, and instead, we want to come back to being here. And if possible, for this practice, sit here with your eyes open. And whatever is the state that you experience, fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, depression, let's take a little moment to identify that state as a sensation in your body. So instead of going just with the thoughts, this is where we want to, or that's where we can also learn a greater discrimination. Rather than just following the thoughts, I'm so angry, or this is so wrong, or it shouldn't be like this, or what's going to happen? What is the future going to be? How am I going to survive? Instead of going with the thoughts, we want to identify the thoughts for what they are. These are the thoughts. This is the interpretation. This is the story. And instead, you want to come into your body. Good, beautiful. And you want to notice the sensations that are present. And if, sometimes when there's a lot of fear and anxiety going on, you might want to start by just looking around a little bit, resourcing in the present. The looking around gives the brain more information about where you are right now. That helps the brain and the nervous system to be here with what arises. Good. You might also want to notice your feet on the ground. Notice the weight of your body where you are sitting. Maybe your back is leaning against something. You can notice that. Good, beautiful. And all these little ways are just here to support your nervous system and brain in its capacity to be here. And as we are noticing, fear, anger, anxiety, frustration, depression, as a sensation in the body, right? Not as an abstract state, not as the commentary that comes with it, not as the story that we already have about it. What does it mean? What does it mean about you? What does it mean about your life? Where the thoughts are telling you where your life is going to be going based on that. So instead of doing that, we are just being very, very practical, noticing the sensation in your body. Good, good, beautiful. Until at a certain point, at a certain moment, there's going to be a change. First of all, there's going to be a little bit of slowing down in your experience. These states usually rev up the nervous system, right? Everything goes really fast. So slowing down. And then a little shift, a shift in which your perception changes, a shift in which there's a little more relaxation, a shift in which we are starting to come out of the past, come out of that contraction caused by that particular stage. Fear, anger, frustration, anxiety, depression. And we are coming more into the present. And you can sense that change, right? You can notice that change. Something changes in the way you are. Something changes in the way you experience what's going on inside, but also on the outer. Something changes in the way you experience the world right now. And that change, that slowing down, that moment of release, that moment of relaxation, that moment in which we simply come more here. We are not anymore following the physiology as it revs up with the arising state. That moment of rest, that moment of shift or clarity or peace, that moment is what I call being present. Good, good, beautiful. So let's take another moment to really, really notice that, to notice the change right now. What is it like to be here like this? What is it like to be here like this, okay, at rest, in peace, regardless of what's going on? Virus or no virus or anything else that is going on in your life, right? That peace and okayness is still here. Good, good, beautiful. And just another moment, of just noticing what is that like to be here like this. Good, good, beautiful. When you are at peace, the whole world is at peace also. So I want to invite you again to join me in our upcoming program. We'll definitely have time for practice and for speaking about many interesting topics. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there.